Are you ready?
Ready.
All right, let's go. Kevin here, top 1 financial advisor and best-selling author. We are here to talk about the stock market. Today, we need to talk about Starbucks because the last time that we talked about Starbucks, I even did a video on Instagram about it. It's been up about 21% since then. So I'm bringing Starbucks up because something else happened, and I think there's something that is happening that most people aren't paying attention to. So here's how I came to this. This morning, I dropped the kids off, I come back, and I stop at Starbucks. It's always there. It was the first time I went in maybe a year and a half. And the reason I went is because I had a gift card. This gift card has been sitting on my kitchen counter for at least 18 months. Like it has been a while before I've used this gift card. And that got me to thinking, Starbucks is actually a bank. Okay, and I'm not the first one to come across this. I'm not, this is not news to some, but it is an interesting company for all the reasons that you don't think it's an interesting company. So, for example, number one, why Starbucks is a bank is because of its app and its gift cards. That's how they roll, and you get like double the points once you deposit your actual money into the Starbucks app and then use the app to buy coffee. I think close to about anywhere between 30 to 50% of purchases from Starbucks have come from the app, which means people are depositing money there. Here's the thing. Starbucks right now has about $1.6 billion in deposits. That amount of money is bigger than 85% of banks in the US. Okay, Starbucks has more money in gift cards and just money sitting there primarily to buy coffee than 85% of banks. That is quite large, and they're nowhere near the JP Morgans or the JP Morgans, Morgan Stanleys, all of those. They're not there, but a lot of these regional and local banks, Starbucks has more money just sitting around. And here's the big thing here, for Starbucks especially. 10% of that money is never used. Never used. People forget about it, like I did for a little bit. People, just don't use it, forget about it. It stays in a gift card or a bag or whatever, and it never gets used. That is free money for Starbucks. Money they can use to go and just invest in the market and get a return that way. It's money that they can use to, build a new store or what have you. And this is one of the key underlying secrets of how Starbucks has been able to survive in a time like this, but also been able to innovate and do all of these things on the backs of free money, unused gift cards, money that people loaded onto their account and just never used. Now, here's the other thing. Starbucks over the last 6 months, and SBUX is their stock symbol, over the last 6 months, they're down about 1.8% or so, which in a year like 2022 is actually quite good. A part of that is because they get all this cash laying around. Here's the other thing. When I brought up Starbucks the first time around, this was about June 4th. I actually did an Instagram post about this. I talked about it because the interim CEO, Howard Schultz, who's also, I think, the founder of Starbucks, had bought like $15 million in shares. Since that date, since the date that he bought, I think it was May 12th, the company itself has been up 21%, and that's how we started to talk about insider buying. We talked about it on the channel, and we really got into all the details about it. Now, about 2 weeks ago, on the 15th of September, you had 2 different directors also bought more of the company. Right around now, if you were considering looking at Starbucks, this right now at this point in time would be that type of day. I personally like the company at about $83 a share. Right now it's around 84 or so. We'll see what happens when the market opens up tomorrow. However, the thing is this. Companies like Starbucks are extremely critical, and not just for the coffee aspect. Notice, none of what I'm talking about is about the product itself. Okay, like I go because it's free for me because of the gift card that I got. That's really it. When I'm out of the gift card, I'm probably not gonna go back unless it's just I'm in dire need of coffee or anything like that. I'm really not picky about coffee. Anyway, aside from all of that, you've got the free money, you've got insider buying. The stock has been up since the time that the CEO bought in, and perhaps it would rise once these directors, as these directors have also bought. I would expect that to happen. Aside from all of that, Starbucks is an important company, not just for the free money, but because real estate prices also go up in the areas that Starbucks exists. that is another key factor. So when you build a Starbucks in a particular area, all the homes within a certain radius, their property values go up. These are things that aren't necessarily business strategy, but show you how important, how stable these particular companies are. So put Starbucks on your watch list if you have not already. It's an extremely interesting company. You've got insider buying, especially right now. And it's obviously a company that has lasted the test of time. They are still growing. It is relatively inexpensive to open and run a Starbucks. I say that based on like the space and requirements there. Like open up a McDonald's, you need all this parking, all this space, it takes a whole lot. And some McDonald's are open until like 2 in the morning or something ridiculous. You don't have none of those problems at a Starbucks. So keep your eye on it. This is the perfect time if you are considering buying it. They're in a space where, I mean, a cup of coffee doesn't cost that much, but they're charging like $5 a pop for some of these particular drinks. And it's become a cultural staple almost, where like whether you're studying and you just need a break, or you want to kind of get out the house, or you enjoy coffee, like that is just the place to go. They have the branding, they have the cash, and they have the particular growth based on when some of these insiders are coming in and out. And in a time like this where inflation is high, people are going to pay up for their coffee, even though, you know, inflation in other areas has been a little more difficult. Now, I don't see them as like a Hershey or maybe a Costco where you absolutely have to go. But it's in a good consumer space where costs can be shifted and people are kind of niched in. Unlike Costco that has like a strict membership, that payment program they have, or that app they do have, once you kind of have money deposited there, you kind of have to use it. And again, you know, there's 10% that don't use it at all, but that kind of gets people into the habit and like gets people back into the door. That loyalty program is extremely important. I personally don't have the app. I don't plan on getting it, but if I did have it, I would go more, because like I want to justify having the app and justify getting these points, so on and so forth. So they have a lot of the important factors it takes to be a good company. And if you are a good company, you tend to be a good stock. And recently, if you mark the date, well, actually, you just take the last 6 months, it's solid. Okay, just generally solid compared to where the stock market is. If you take from the point that Howard Schultz, the CEO, bought more, it is extremely good. Now, if you zoom back to last year, it's down like 23%, which is not all that great. But what I'm looking at is how is it performing most recently, and what is helping to allow that to happen. When I see insiders, people who work there, people who are directors and CEOs start to buy, it makes me pay a lot more attention to it. So let me know what you think about Starbucks. If I'm not mistaken, I believe they pay a solid dividend, not an incredible one, but a solid dividend too. So if you are into dividend stocks and that is something that you have to have in your investing portfolio, yeah, they pay a $1.96 dividend, which is a 2.3%, 2.31 if you want to be exact, percent yield. So, I mean, right now, Starbucks looking kind of nice. I'm not saying that it's the greatest stock in the world or anything of that nature, but it's really solid, and it's definitely difficult to beat, especially in a time like this. So again, those two directors bought on the 15th, so it's about 2 weeks old, but the stock has gone up and then come right back down to a level that I like, around $83. And just to verify, it's at $84.81. So $84.81 where it is at the time of this recording. You know, if I were looking to trade or something, I might do something at 83. If I do something, I will let you know. But you do want to do your own research, continue to read more about the company. Let me know what you think. Do you own Starbucks? What are your thoughts about the company or the stock? And where do you think it will go from here? All right, that is it for me. I will talk to you later. Bye.